these kind of days, I actually haven't put these boots on in a while. These are my tall ones, and I'm putting these on because I can't find my short ones. Welcome to the life of a mom with a lot of kids. A couple of them have my same shoe size, so they steal my shoes. But, alright, I think this one is fixed. Other than having some leaves in there. So these are the days that we dread on the farm. These are the days where anytime you take a life, it's never easy. Today's not actual day, but we're gearing up for the actual day, and that is setting up everything to start butchering birds. We have a lot. They have grew off so wonderful. We're so proud of that. But anytime you have to take any kind of animal and take that life, it is a little bit of a hard process to have to do. And what I'm doing right now is we come to a dilemma of discussing on the birds of you see it's very dreary, rainy. It's not real cold. It's about 60 to 65, but it's not ideal weather either, just because it's so wet and nasty. So we have tomorrow, which is Colby's day off, and that's when we have to use his days off to do major farm chores. And our next option is the next day that he's going to be off. The high is going to be 50, and it's not going to be real rainy. It says partly cloudy, so that probably means it's going to be really cool for what we're used to. And you have to remember we're in South Mississippi, so as a high being 50 for us, like, I just don't even want to be outside during that weather. So to think that I'm going to have to be dealing with wet birds in that kind of weather just is nauseating just in itself, much less the work that has to be done to put up birds, because they're just nasty. It's just, this is not a fun chore to have to do. So we're kind of in that dilemma. I'm just going to go up there and look at them again and see if I feel like they are big enough for tomorrow to be the day. If we think that they'll do fine growing off for another week, we can hold off, but we really don't want to butcher in that kind of weather. So I'm just going to ride up and just kind of make a call. Colby wants to do it tomorrow and get it over with, and I really do too, because I don't want to butcher in the cold. But if they're not really big enough, which they're so close and many of them are just waddling around, but a week can make such a difference in these birds. So I'm just going to kind of ride up there and make a call. So we're just going to head up to the barn and take a look right now. Well, there's good news and bad news. So the good news is the birds are ready. The bad news is we have to butcher them. So yes, they're ready. Oh, they look great. And we are very thankful. It is going to absolutely fill up our freezer full of meat that will last us, gosh, 9 months. We try to calculate 2 birds a week. We sometimes don't eat 2 birds. Sometimes we eat chicken a lot, but it should average out to be a good, at least, I would say 9 months. I mean, you know, give or take. So we're just gonna gear up and get everything set up. I personally would rather butcher on a day like this where it's kind of drizzly and wet and nasty versus it being so cold that I'm trying to deal with a chicken in a container of water when it is wet. I'm gonna be wet. I usually will wash the bird off, scald the bird, put the bird in the plucker, give it to Colby. Colby will clean out, and then I will get the bird once he gets them clean, get them rinsed out real good, put on the ice. Aiden is usually the ones that gets the birds, puts them in the kill cone, and goes ahead and starts the bleeding out process. So we have like these rotations. Aiden will get them. He will go ahead and do the kill comb process. Then I'll get the bird and get it prepped for the removing all the innards, and then once that's kind of a timely thing. So by the time Colby gets done and puts it off to the side, I usually have one or two more waiting on him, and then I can get the bird sprayed out real good, make sure all the little feathers are off, and then get it on ice. So with that being said, the first thing I'm going to do is go get some pine shavings and bring back up here, because what does it smell like, Jennings?
Chicken coops.
It smells horrible up here right now. So I'm going to put some fresh pine shavings for them for tonight, and then I'm going, so that way they won't be as disgusting as tomorrow. And then we are going to go get some tarps set up on the side of the barn where we're going to be butchering at. Then we are going to start getting the scalder out, the plucker out, water hoses pulled, our knives out, vinegar rags, all that kind of stuff. We're going to start getting that out. Romeo and Juliet have found our mystery cat that ran up, that hangs out literally with the sheep all the time. But he, if y'all seen my video, he is doing fine. And there's Lamb.
Lamb and the cat. Look at the cat. He's so cute.
Juliet, no.
And we are going to see Dude Perfect.
We're going to see Dude Perfect. When are we going to see Dude Perfect? This summer. The good news of Aiden is we have been doing magnesium supplements with him, and he has made wonderful progress. He has not seemed to have palpitations since we have put him on magnesium. We have mailed off the monitor, and we'll see what becomes of it from there, but so far we're very happy with the supplements. And if he's not having palpitations, that is what we want. And you know, it's like I told y'all earlier, it's hard enough really to take a life, but on a nasty, cold, dreary, it's not as cold as it could be, but we usually shoot for spring, early fall. That's not really been the case. This year it's just the way it fell, kind of in your latter part of winter. Now I know a lot of you people that live in the northern state, we have people that watch from, the calves know what time it is, time to move mamas. They're going to go try to get their feeding on before they get moved. I know it's not really cold to y'all, but here for us in the south, you know, when it starts getting your highs in the 50, lows in the 29, we get cold. All right, here's what I'm looking for. So that's the kind of weather we're going to be dealing with this next week. And before, oh goodness, there was some spiders under there. Before it gets too cold, we really want to go ahead and knock this out. What we're setting up now, our plucker is right here. I've got to find our scalder. I don't see it right here. We've got to get our table set up and really go from there. Y'all, my battery's almost dead. It is well after dark. I think we're done for tonight. We've got our scalder, our plucker, our table where Colby will be working at mostly. We've got, this is my kind of like double check table while I'll just rinse the bird out. We're gonna have coolers under here with ice. We have our kill cones set up over here. So we'll be working in the station. We already have the water hose ran. We'll have a couple extension cords. Now, like I told y'all earlier, sadly, it's supposed to rain a lot tomorrow. So we're gonna try to wait until the majority of the rain gets moved out. The birds are all the way down at the barn. So our plan for that is to, we have basically what we keep our rabbits in, the bigger cages. We also have bigger dogger kennels. We will get about 10 to 15 birds at a time, put them on the back of the Ranger. We'll literally back them up right there by the firewood, and then we'll get started through the spaces. We're gonna hit it first thing in the morning, y'all. Y'all, we have gotten started. We have a couple of different stations set up. Eliza and Sayla and Annabelle are out here helping us. And Jennings is kind of being the recorder man. It's going. I know, that one kind of got beat up. The weather has turned out okay, so not a whole lot to complain about today. I mean, it is nasty, but it is what it is. We're almost done with 12, and it is time consuming, and
we are done with 12 after one more.
It is a lot of work, but we are thankful to be able to do it. All right. I'm inside. I smell better. Do you smell better?
I'm glad I smell better. I still smell though. Chickens.
I know, I feel like I smell chickens.
We are done, y'all. I'm going to take you over into our prepper's pantry area and show you our coolers that we finally finished. It was a big job. They are actually in our cold room. All right, lights on. Let's hop in our cold room. I'm gonna bring y'all in here, but I'm not staying long because it is cold. I'm gonna let y'all take a peek over in the coolers. We do still have them on ice. Well, I was gonna let you take a glance into this one too, because we have a big cooler right here. But the front of it is towards the wall, and I'm not pulling that out. And then we have that cooler and the one on bottom, which is a little bit bigger. In all, we counted 42 birds. We were thinking that we only had 38, but they usually send a couple more. And then we only lost one that arrived that was like when they were really little, that had already not made it. So this is what we're doing from here on out. We will take the coolers back under the carport tomorrow afternoon. We're going to let those birds stay and just chill completely out. Then we're going to bag them. And I have got, so my job right now, after I watered the greenhouse, is to come in and maneuver all of this stuff around in this freezer to other freezers so that we can get our birds in here. Now, what's even crazier than that is we just done the 42 birds, but we still have 2 of our American Guinea lard hogs to do and a steer that is ready. So I'm also going to be spending this week. I do not have any canned milk in here, but I'm going to be canning milk, and I'm going to be taking all of my plum juice from when I juiced plums this past summer, and I literally had made jelly and made jelly and made jelly. I can't make jelly anymore. I don't need any more jelly, but what I am going to do is put the juice in the jar. So you see, this is my jelly. It's a little wobbly, wiggly in there. But I don't need any more jelly. So my plan is to can the juice because I need the freezer space. And we're not doing school right now. We still have 1 full week out of school. So I'm going to be basically making room in the freezer by pulling some of the things out that I can. I can also take some of our old sausage, ground meat, anything like that, and put it in jars and bring it in here on our prepper's pantry. And that actually does a couple of things. So not only am I freeing up freezer space for the time being, if I just keep cramming everything in, I could risk losing the freezer. And obviously, you know, if we have an ice or a snowstorm in our area, like, we lose power because our power lines and stuff are just not used to that. So that's another possible risk that we could be taking by leaving everything we have in the freezer. So that's really going to kind of be my goal this week. We're going to bag up all the birds tomorrow. We're going to get them put in the freezer. I'm going to start pulling some of the other things out, like milk, for example. I'm going to show y'all this milk right here. This freezer right here is full of milk to the very top. So I'm going to be canning as much of that as I can. I've got bags of, I do not have any in here, but I also have bags of plum juice. This is blueberries from this year. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 just in here. But I'm going to be honest with y'all, I don't really like to can my fruit. Not blueberries. Peaches, yes. I have some peaches over there. Pears, yes. But there are some fruit I just don't like to can. And blueberries is one of those. So yes, I know you can can them, but that I don't like to. So I'm not doing those. But all of the ones that I have already juiced, all the plums that I have already juiced, I'm going to be canning that too. To free up some of the space. I probably will have to can some hamburger meat too, just to put it in here. And it truly is homesteaders fast food, farmers fast food, whatever you want to call it. Got y'all, we're done. Showered. I was sprayed in the face multiple times. Aiden was covered with blood. Colby was covered with guts. Me and Annabelle were covered in stinking nasty mud and chicken poo-poo. It's just not a pleasant thing to do. And anytime you have to take a life, period, it's just not pleasant. On top of when you're dealing with really nasty birds, even though we had deep bedded them, y'all saw me do that, they're just so nasty and they stink. But it is worth it, and we are thankful for the ability to be able to do this and work our farm and know that we have pounds and pounds of fresh organic meat that is going to feed us for a really long time. And while I'm thinking about it, I could probably I have a really big crock pot. I could probably get 2 or 3 birds in and cook. Then I have 2 smaller crock pots that I could probably put a bird in each. I have done this before. I actually have a whole video on it, and it is really easy to do. It's just time consuming. But it is just time consuming. So I could do that too. I can can chicken meat and put it up here. Then I take everything that's left, fill it up with water, cook it down again, get the chicken broth off of there, and can put chicken broth in jars too, which I have done in the past. With all of the other stuff that I have to can, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do any birds today, but at least we can go ahead and put them in the freezer. And then when I get gaps in between, basically now in spring, I will start canning some of that chicken and some of that broth. It is easy to do. It is so nice to just be able to come in your pantry, pull something. Like I can make pear salad with this right now. Open this up, rinse it in a strainer with some cold water over it, toss it in some flour, pop it in some hot lard, and bam, you've got French fries. Right, everything off the farm. It really is satisfying, and that is the reason why we do what we do. So you see I'm going like out the front door. We have been working our patooties off to catch up today. You look at the sky, we are under tornado warnings. We have been almost all day today. The alarm started going off on the phone shortly after lunch, but we did just get a message not long ago from a group text of a group of friends. They live about 25 minutes west of us, and it got really, really bad there. Their next door neighbor's trailer was turned over. He said that no trees were down on their house, but there were trees down everywhere. It looks like the worst of it is actually now south of us, so I don't know if it's just going southeast, but thankfully we've not had any major weather right now. We've just really kind of been watching, but we've been prepping for this all day. So I have washed and dried clothes all day. Colby started a couple loads for me this morning. I finished all the clothes today. I started canning some milk, but that was a no-go for me. I went ahead and fixed supper. So that was done. All the kids have already had baths. It's 4:50 here now, and we're just watching the weather really close. Here's our freezer full of birds. We have some really, y'all, this is my hand on one, some really, really nice sized birds. And those are currently getting frozen. Very, very thankful to have that done. So really the rest of all of today is going to be on weather watch. It said until, didn't it say like later tonight? Yeah. Later tonight, they lifted the current warning for us to a watch later tonight, but we are hoping that it's not going to get any worse. We've got also the bathtubs filled up with water just in case we lose power. Like I told y'all, supper's already cooked, clothes are all washed and dry. We hope that it does not get any worse than just some rain. We got a lot of heavy rain this morning, a lot of heavy rain mid-afternoon. Then it was kind of slacked up. We were able to get the birds done and in the freezer, but we're just going to be on watch for all night tonight and just praying that it doesn't get any worse than just some rain. And on top of watching the weather, Jennings come to me this afternoon. He said he had a headache again. I felt him. He did have fever. I checked his temperature. It was 101.2. And he's just kind of been napping on and off. He did get a good spurt earlier where he felt a little bit better. But I just told y'all it's 4:50. And to slow that thing down, he has to be sick to be sleeping at that time. So at this time, so I'm not sure what tonight's going to look like for us, weather, or with Jennings, what he has. We don't know. I've already given him all the remedies that you guys seen me give him last time. He calmed down with a headache and fever, and it only lasted 24 hours last time, so I'm not sure what he's picked up or been exposed to, but we are in for a long night with the little one that doesn't feel good and watching for bad weather. Okay, so the alarm just went off. This is what we have been getting, national emergency alerts for tornadoes. I also want to show y'all. So I just told y'all about one of the stories that came across our phone. This was another message I just got from a close friend. Her brother-in-law's little brother just lost their entire house. Some of the walls are still standing, but the roof is completely gone. They have a 2-year-old and a baby on the way in May. They had a hard time getting out. It was just a long story, y'all just pray for them. We're in kind of like a bad situation right now. Just to give y'all an idea of so this red line down here is what just destroyed a lot of areas. This is still what is coming towards us. So yeah, I told y'all we were in for watching some bad weather tonight. We're still getting tornado warnings. You see all that? Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things where you just kind of stay on pins and needles until it's gone. So Ryan Hall has Summit, which is right here, and Meadville, which is right here. This is about 15 to 20 minutes away from our house. This is about 10.
Has been issued.
That's about 10 minutes away from our house. You feeling better? I was hoping that maybe it was just like the flu that Jennings had. Headache, fever, tired. And then he a while ago said, "Mom, my stomach hurts." Blah, puked everywhere. So I'm praying we don't have the stomach virus. I don't know. We cleaned the toilet, cleaned him up. We're going to be in for a long night, I'm afraid.
We've heard from a lot of people that a lot of damage has happened, and somehow we didn't lose power. The storm literally, miraculously, just kind of went around us. We got a ton of rain. I mean, you can see our high tunnel is torn up. I'm going to have to go fix that. But it could have been a lot worse. Typically, Misty would be giving you this update, but our kids got sick through all the storms last night. Jings was sick. Now I have 2 of our daughters sick. Livy's acting a little suspicious of being sick too, so it looks like we're going to be dealing with a lot of sick kids in the midst of all this. I talked to some of my family. I don't think I have any family that lives here that does not have, I don't think I have any family that's here in my town that has power. Everybody else has lost power. So this is Sunday. Typically we'd be going to church, but because of the rains, because of the winds, a lot of the churches are canceled in our town. And not only that, we have sick kids. So it looks like we're home babysitting today and making sure everybody's safe. But man, just say a prayer for all the ones that were in the line of the storm. There's a community close to us, McCall Creek, Franklin County, Lincoln County, which is kind of our surrounding areas. All those areas got destroyed. There was houses destroyed, churches destroyed, land destroyed, and it was just really bad. I know there's a community that's right down the road that they're still missing someone. So Mississippi got hit pretty hard. Louisiana did. Texas did. So say a prayer for those people. Say a prayer for their families. Can you imagine starting a new year with having damages or having problems like that? It's terrible. So we're thankful. If all the damage I had was that high tunnel, that's a blessing. And yeah, we had a few trees. I mean, like random trees down. But the ones that we were worried about the most were okay. And all the animals were okay. We checked on everything this morning when I went out and did chores. So I'm so grateful that we've been safe. So now we got to clean up a little of the limbs and a lot of the junk around here. But that is a way bigger blessing than what some people are waking up to. Guys, thank you so much for watching. As Misty always says, God bless. Happy homestead, y'all.